Experience the highs and lows of the inspiring success stories we highlight. Allow the experiences and the examples of our guests to lift and inspire you out of the past or future. Hi, I'm Jennifer Annenberg, and I'm here with a very, very, very special guest who, in the first 6 months, her business went viral. She has over 20,000 opt-in subscribers. She is the founder, owner of Cincinnati Chic. This is Amy Scalia.
Hi.
Welcome, Amy Scalia.
Thank you.
And I also want to give a special plug, though, because our amazing background that we're here, we're at the Legg Mason building. So if you also have a successful business that you think is fabulous and you want to nominate them, go to the Jennifer Now website and nominate your business, because we would love to be a guest also at your wonderful, fabulous business. So thank you again to Legg Mason. So, sorry about that, but a little segue there too. But you, I mean, 20,000 plus opt-in subscribers.
Not that I'm counting, but it's 22,000 opt-in subscribers. No, it's really
all
been
kinds
exciting.
of ages, right?
It's like growing so quickly that I'm constantly updating the website, updating our media kits, and it's just so exciting. And when you sit back and you realize it's like it's growing so quickly because people actually like it. You're not forcing this on anyone. It grows so quickly because the word of mouth and people are enjoying what they do. And you know, Jennifer was even a model in our fashion show, our most recent one. And it's because we have great people that we work with in the community, and people really like what we're doing. And
it's the moment thing. Like, this is what people want to do, and they want to click on. It's easy.
Yeah.
And is it women and men? It's mostly women, but
it's 11% right now. It's 11% male readership, but I think it's just those savvy guys who want to know where all the pretty ladies are. So, but it is primarily women, and it's basically connecting them with the people, products, and services that provide them with the lifestyle that they want to live right here in Greater Cincinnati. You don't have to go to New York to find the big brands or to find the amazing designers. We have them right here. And as busy as us women are, we don't have the time to do the homework. So that's what Cincy Chic does.
Right, and it's about, like, what, 15% of the population of Cincinnati?
Right,
That is
exactly.
something to be proud of.
Exactly. I feel really good. Of course, the OCD in me wants to get the other 85%, but then I realize that it's a very specific niche that we're going after, and I feel like we've really saturated that niche really well, and we're at a great mature point. And now I'm at the point where we have this great model. It's self-functioning. The advertisers are coming in because the clients and the readers are happy, and it's just this great cyclical, self-sufficient model now. And so now I'm focusing on the franchise aspect of it.
Okay, so for anyone who's watching and they're thinking you're an instant success, we know that this didn't happen overnight. So where was your vision? What happened? Like, how did A come to be?
Right. Well, it definitely was a lot of hard work. I have a very good concealer because I don't get much sleep because the wheels are always turning. And I think that when you have a great business idea, those wheels can't stop, because a lot of people are dreamers, but not enough of them are doers. And so you have to be the perfect blend of them both. And so once I got the idea, I went full force ahead, and I said, okay, if this is going to work, it's going to happen now. This can't be tomorrow I'll do it, or someday I'll get to that. It has to be now, or someone else will do it instead. And I wanted to be the one that brings this to Cincinnati, brings this to other markets. And so once I had the ideas, and they just didn't stop coming. And then when other people are coming to the events, they offer you great ideas, because you know how women are. They're always like, oh, I have an opinion for you.
Yeah.
And I listen to that, because that's so important. And so I listen, we do reader surveys, and that's how we keep growing, and that's how we keep providing what the readers want.
But so I have so many questions for that, though. But you're right, if it's not now, when? If it's not you, who?
Right.
So that's my philosophy too. So you did the leap of faith, and you just kept driving, and you kept driving. So your advice is, if you have a great idea, even though people are saying, well, that's really stupid, it's not going to make money, blah, 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 are you saying just do it?
Oh, absolutely, because you're not getting any younger. And most likely, it's a lot easier when you just think about it step by step by step. So many people see the big picture and say, oh my gosh, that's such a big undertaking. I can't possibly take on all of that right now. Right. But if you think about just the course of life, very few things fall off your plate, just more and more things jump on it.
Absolutely.
And so might as well just take it step by step by step. And it doesn't seem so bad once you begin the ball rolling. And what was miraculous to me is that other people wanted to assist in my vision. Here I thought I'd have to do it all by myself, but all of a sudden once I launched it, I had graphic designers and photographers,
people want to jump
writers.
on, yeah.
And all of a sudden I had a team of people. And it was just, that was the most surprising thing, is that other people wanted to share my vision and also make it possible. So you don't have to think, oh, I'm going to be all alone. People want to see dreams happen, and your dream might be a bigger pie of, they just want this slice. A photographer, they want to get in a magazine, so you're part of their dream and you're helping them accomplish their goals. And so that was really a neat part of this whole process.
And don't you think that's further confirmation that you're on the right track, you're in the flow, you're doing what you should be doing? Well, we were just talking about that, the crew, and the greatest failures, right? Like you know, Walt Disney, who they kept shutting the door and saying no, and Oprah Winfrey, who they said was just fired because they said you were going to never make it in TV. I mean, so what if she had
Oprah?
Said,
What if she had
listened?
Said no? Right. And Donald Trump is another great example. He filed bankruptcy. You have to be afraid to fail to rise. And because nothing great is accomplished by someone who stays in that safe harbor. The ship is meant to sail. And so I truly think that for my journey is that I made the decision to do it, and I got laser focused on it. I would even, because at the time I was living in Philadelphia trying to get back to my hometown of Cincinnati, and on those long drives turned off the radio, just think it through. And I just became laser focused on this vision to make it possible, and I didn't let anything get in my way.
Are you hearing this formula? This is the formula. But this is great. So when you were young, or maybe you were in high school or college, did you have this laser focus, or did it come later? For all those people who are in college, or?
I think it was always, when I think back to my personality in high school, I was the type that I just love life so much that, and I know this sounds so cliche, but
I know you, I feel that. I feel the same way. I do.
It's just like
you wake up happy and you go to bed happy. I feel the same way,
And you are here on this earth, able-bodied for a very short amount of time. And so I feel like you can sleep when you're dead. I'm going to fill this life with as much happiness and activity as possible. So I was a cheerleader. I was in band. So I was like in all of these different things. I even had to, when I was in marching band, had to wear my cheerleading outfit because there was no time for, it was just, I was so involved. But I was also really adamant about achieving like the highest grades possible for the scholarships, and all of that was really important to me too. Just being the best that I could be and involved in as much as I could be, because who knows when this journey is going to end, and I want to know that I filled it to the greatest extent.
Well, not only that, you had a vision and you became a magnet for
Exactly.
everything that you wanted and everything that you wanted out of life, and you drew in the people and the necessary things to get that life, I think, because you oozed out that enthusiasm, which you do. Even now, you're incredible,
Oh, well, I just love, even in high school, I would be like the cheerleading captain, or I try to get as involved as possible and try to be a little bit of I definitely like the leadership aspect, but it was more of like the teamwork, getting people a team. And I really feel like what I'm doing here in Cincy Chic is I'm getting people together and leading them and having people be sort of cheerleaders for Cincinnati. Because when I started Cincy Chic, the feeling of Cincinnati was, how quick can I get out of here? And now people are thinking, how can I get more out of Cincinnati? There are great resources, and I've got a million things going on tonight. There's just so much going on, and I didn't hear that when I had first started Cincy Chic.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Well, so if things are, how are you? How do you have downtime? You were mentioning your husband who allows you this downtime, and it's a great contrast.
Right.
So if it's not planned, is it really hard to just let go?
Well, I've been blessed with Pete, my husband, who does have the ADD, like he is diagnosed with it. But it's good though, because it's the perfect yin and yang. And I think that we as a couple make it work, because I inspire him to be more focused. And when I met him, he was a traveling musician, and he didn't really, first of all, he wasn't making much money. He wasn't, he didn't have like the health insurance, and there were so many things he wanted out of life, and all he knew is that he loved music. And so I was able to inspire him to, what else do you like that maybe you can make a full-time job out of, and then you can also do the music. And so he's found that he also loves media, and so now he's in TV, and he does music on the side. He plays almost every weekend. We have a recording studio in our house, and so he's able to do all the things that he loved, and then also found some new things that he's inspired to do. And that full-time pay, I tell you what, it can buy more and more music equipment. Exactly. So he's found a great balance with that. So I feel like I've aided in that aspect of his life, that he is doing a lot of things that he likes to do professionally and personally now. And he's done the same for me. I was so laser focused with Cincy Chic, and to find a good balance, he was like, you're going to burn out quickly with only being focused on this one particular thing. And you're actually going to feel a lot more balanced and a lot more energized to continue to do this long term if you do some other things you enjoy. So we've traveled a lot, and we've gone to Paris and Italy. He's Italian, so we went to Italy for his first time, and we travel the U.S. We try to go somewhere different every year, and also gardening.
That's
last time
a wonderful
we talked,
way to be quiet and centered and downtime.
Yeah, and it's a perfect contrast to the high-tech, always in front of a computer world, because when you're gardening, your hands are dirty, you can't be near a computer, there's no phones, and you're just one with nature, which is completely different than the high-tech side of my life. So I feel like I have a good balance through those things.
I mean, do you think there is a formula that you ascribe for success? Do you think if you were telling someone there's certain qualities you have to have, there was a younger version of you, what would you say to you? That you have to have this? Right.
Well, I think everyone's different, but one of the things that I am seeing, especially with the younger generations, like even I know it's weird for me to say like younger generation, I feel very young, but the interns that I'm bringing in, they're so there's this sense of self-entitlement that, oh, I deserve this internship. And it's like, no, you work for it and you earn it. And if you don't meet these criteria, you're out in this long list of other interns who want.
Sure, a lot of people are nodding. Like,
exactly.
yes.
So I think that keeping that sense of you earn what you get, and you get out of it what you put into it. That's so important. And if you want a lot out of life, you have to put a lot in. And so I think keeping that in mind, and also remembering that we're here for a very short amount of time. Every day wasted is truly a day wasted. You don't get it back. And if you have that dream, start it today. Do something that commits you to it, and then make a small step each and every day that works you toward your goal. And maybe someday it's a much bigger step, and other days it's not. But if I can offer any kind of inspiration, it's to make that commitment and make a small step toward it.
And why do you think people are stuck? Or do you think it's really stuck? You hear a lot of, most of our society says, I'm stuck in this job, or I'm stuck in this relationship, I can't find the job, I can't find happy. I mean, most people are unhappy. We're at a time where most people would describe themselves as unhappy. There's more depression than ever, more prescription. I mean, I don't have to even describe. You understand this. Why? Why are people feel they're stuck?
Oh, I'm sure that there's a lot of different reasons why, but I think that you truly, I actually read a really interesting book after an awful breakup, and
this was in your past.
This was in my past, and it was about 10 years ago, and it was a really bad breakup. And I happened to be in Barnes & Noble and getting a coffee, and basically that what do I want in my life kind of moment, and there was this book that just was sitting there, and it was just B-E. And it was basically a workbook on how to discover what makes you happy. What do you want out of life? And it was like a fill-in-the-blank kind of book. And for some reason,
a workbook, exercise.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it's, even though it seems so mundane to be like, oh, I've got it all in my brain, I know what I want out of life, I know who I am, it's really interesting when you connect it to paper and when you look at it afterward and say, these are the things I want out of life, what am I doing to get there? And also when you have the negative self-talk, or when maybe you have a negative force in your life, maybe a partner or maybe even family members, and they make you think that you're someone that you're not, and it gets to that kind of depression where you feel a disconnect of who you truly are. This book, for some reason, spoke to me and reminded me of who I am as a person and the person that I want to be. And it was nice to be able to have that on paper and remind myself when I was having a low moment of like all the good things that I am and think I am and want to do in life. And it makes you realize, okay, that's negative, and I want to be positive, and here's my guidebook. And first, I'm sure there's a ton of books out there, but
no, but I
yeah.
think in that moment, what you did, and regardless of the book you did, is you replaced the old tapes with a new tape.
Right.
And in that pivotal moment, you acknowledged that you were free.
Yeah.
Freer than
Right.
ever. And that's really, I think, and the other pivotal thing I think you said, I think that would be a great point, is that you acknowledged you went out and actually thought it. You said pen to paper. I think that is really key.
Yeah.
Is that you actually acknowledged there is something running in my mind, but it's taking the time to think about it instead of the habitual, unconscious life we really live every day.
Right.
But you consciously sat down.
Yeah.
And then there's assumptions we do, right?
Absolutely.
We run through the filters, the same filters all the time. And I think that was extremely powerful.
Yeah, it made me realize that there were some people who I thought were positive in my life who truly weren't, just based on some of the things that they would do or say. And it made me really connect with who I was as a person and what I wanted out of life. And I still keep it today. I found it the other day, and actually starting a magazine was on that list. And it was so neat to see that checked
I got
out.
goosebumps but I think that's like whatever you call it, a vision board, whatever you want to call it. At least if you have an intention, whether it's in your mind, whether you write down, I think no matter who, I'm just saying, and I'm looking out here because no matter who we've talked to, they've always had an intention. And it's so strong, and people have looked back and said, this, whether it's a car dealership or whatever, they've gone back, and no matter how long it took, they got there. That is key.
Yep.
So if you have a dream, it can be done.
Right, yeah,
So.
and you have to kind of think of what makes you happy in those moments, and the things that make your heart swell. Yeah, exactly.
But it's incredible when people don't know. What do you want? What do you want?
Yeah, and what could be more important than really sitting down and looking yourself in the face and saying, okay, what makes me happy, and figuring that out, and that's step
Not
one.
my mom, not my boyfriend, not my friends. So what do I want?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Cut your losses. When did you feel like you really made it? Did you have a pivotal moment when you felt like I made it? I did it.
It was actually a little bit overnight in terms of how many people came to our events. I think that that's the most visual portion of it, because I can look at site traffic and it's like, okay, maybe we used like a keyword that was really key or something. But when our events went from 50 to maybe 75 people to 500 and 600 attendees, and that's a lot of people, and to have committed to a ticket and to be able to accommodate, and I really attribute a lot of that to our event planning company. We used to have an in-house event planner, and she went on maternity leave, so I decided, well, I'll get a third-party event planning company, and then maybe if she wants to come back, I'll hire her back. And it was basically just, I didn't put much thought into it. It wasn't this big strategic move, but it allowed my team to relinquish all of the duties that have to do with these events. And I left it to the professionals to take these events to the next level, so I could focus on the blogging and the media outreach, because we have all these great connections here in Cincinnati. And so it let me do what I like to do, and that's connecting with people and promoting and making sure that all the pre-work that goes into the event is done, and make sure that it's all promoted in all different various ways. And then the actual day of, all of these people have a fabulous time. They're all going out and telling their friends. Yeah. So that was about 2 years ago that our events went from 50 to 500. It was like, wait, that was like 3 months ago that we were having these small
Wow.
events, and then something
Wow.
big happened. I don't know what it was, and the only thing that changed was the event planning company and the amount of work that was relinquished from my team to focus on other things.
I mean, do you think that was really it? That was the key move?
Well, right around the same time, we had just, I started to blog for Cincinnati.com. I had started to do some work for Fox 19 and Star 64, but it was only because I stopped working so much on the planning of events. It allowed my calendar to free up to say, hey, I have an afternoon free to be able to set some appointments up with the Enquirer, Fox 19, and all of these different things. So I was able to work on community relationship development, and I think that is the key, because now, I'm able to focus.
You put more you, and then you were more. That's an interesting point.
Yeah. So to any business owner out there, I do think it's important to be involved in all aspects of your business, but maybe the things that you don't need to do necessarily, you don't need to have your name associated with the accounting, or maybe the bookkeeping, or the relinquish some of the things that don't make you super excited about life and that don't need your name associated with it. I need to be at every event. I need to be blogging. I need to be doing appearances like this.
Because people want to see you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing of my business. So to any other business out there, a business owner out there, or someone who's dreaming of that, that's definitely a key focus, is get rid of those things on your plate that you don't need to have on there. Delegate to elevate,
Excellent
I say.
advice. Yes,
So that's the turning point for me, is when I made that decision to take 20 or so hours off my plate that didn't need to be there, and I was able to refocus my efforts on bigger and better efforts.
No, that's an excellent point. And somewhere where you did say, is knowledge or skills, you said why being highly skilled in your field is not enough to run a successful company. What do you mean by that? So is that sort of the same tangent, or?
Because that's an interesting.
that is an interesting quote, and I just saw that. Why is being highly skilled in your field not obviously?
Well, I think that just fashion, for example, especially now in the day where anyone can have a blog, anyone can love fashion. But then they come to me and they say, how do you make this your full-time thing? Well, I can't just love fashion. I can't just be skilled and knowing everything about the design and fabrics and who designs this and that. You also have to know how to make it work business-wise. Anything that you want to pursue as a profession, if you want to take that passion to profession, you have to broaden your skill base. And I think that that is the important message there. I had to learn the accounting side, the marketing side, the graphic design, the web streaming video, all of this. And it's all in addition to my love for fashion. Right. So I think that that's so important. Figure out the other elements that make your dream work, and either hire the other people that can make that happen. And most people can't hire that team right off the bat. You have to know it, and it makes it a full circle, more well-rounded business owner when you don't just know the one aspect of your business. You know how to make it all function. If you need to step in at any given point in time, you can. So I do think that that's an important thing for business owners to know, or anyone that's aspiring to launch something. You have to know what makes the full circle run.
But also, I think, what about the intangible? For instance, I've asked this a lot before. Why is it there's a row of restaurants, a row of stores, and one is more, they all sell the same thing. Why is that one going to be more successful? Isn't that something there, what quality is there? That sort of, isn't there that intangible that you bring, or that there's that exuberance or something that makes, that just no matter what, it's human nature, that magnetism. You got it or you don't. Maybe, perhaps. Is that not accurate, or maybe is that too blunt?
I think there's
not
always that.
You don't want to hear?
No, I think there's always that je ne sais quoi about what makes someone more attractive.
Someone could still do what you're doing. There's three of you, but you're fabulous at it.
Right. Well, I like to think that I just love what I do, and people are magnetized toward that. And some people get into business for maybe the wrong reasons. Maybe they got in it to just become a multimillionaire, which is great, and that can always be a goal. But I got into this for different reasons. The money is great, and I don't make all the money in the world, but I make enough to feel comfortable and to feel like I'm being rewarded for my time. But the most important thing for me is to feel like I'm doing a greater thing for Cincinnati. I'm connecting the local women with the people, products, and services that make their lives easier. And the clients are happy because they're able to reach an audience that they weren't able to otherwise, and the readers are happy because they're able to reach resources that they didn't know about otherwise. So that's a greater thing for me, and I think that that's my secret to success, is because it came from a really genuine place of doing what I love and providing something to the community that was necessary and needed and wanted, and it's fun. People enjoy it, and they're magnetized toward that. And I think that when you find something that people are magnetized to, you don't have to spend all the money in the world to market it. They just come because they want to. They come because they enjoy it. They come because their friends are talking about it. That's what's going to propel your business forward and make it shine above the rest, is that you have that magnetism.
And don't you think that, like we were referring to Oprah and all
Yeah.
the people, that if you
They
bring
have
fun,
it.
if you have fun and you truly want to do it, don't you think no matter how many people say no to you, you're gonna
You'll find a
somehow
way.
find a way? Yeah.
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 Yeah, and when you've connected with that thing you really love, that's where the magnet happens. That's where people, when you connect with something that you love so much that you can't help but shine, people are gravitating toward that light, and they want to shine too, and they feel better when they're around you, and they feel better being attached to you in some way. Like when I mentioned, when I started the business, other people wanted to be a part of it. They wanted to be a part of that light.
Right. Right. What's your legacy for Cincinnati? Real quick, in a nutshell.
Well, I went into this wanting to make Cincinnati chic, and I think that I'm doing that every single day with every new issue, with each new blog post, with each new event. Cincinnati is getting more and more chic every day.
You really have. Thank you so much, Amy.
Yeah.
Come find yourself. The world needs you, all of you. How long are you willing to wait? Are you ready?